This video is not meant for children and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back. I am Maester Aelix, and this is The Outer Worlds, episode number 100. Oh my goodness. And since I only play these videos once a week, it's almost 2 years, and so I'm very excited to get things moving along. So, we are right back where we left off here in this kitchen, next to the severed head of Burbage 2000. And, oh goodness, severed heads. Even if, they're robot heads, it's still not good. I'm gonna go with still not good. We got a, Rizzo's Rangers uniform there, too. So, yeah, as much as I like 2 more mag picks, stealing them's not worth it. Got that person there who seems to be busy, but...
Why, hello there! Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face-to-face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom.
I recognize your voice. It's, pleased to finally meet you.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm glad to meet you too. Now that our introductions are out of the way, do let me know if I can help you with anything.
You said you operate the elevator, right? Can guests not press the buttons themselves?
Well, yes, but having an operator certifies that the right guests end up on the proper floors. We wouldn't want tossball players rubbing shoulders with CEOs. It'd be anarchy. Plus, there's always the risk a guest chips a nail or loses a ring on a button. It's an extra effort, but the Grand Colonial prides itself on personalized service in all things. That and the elevator still works if I'm ever not around. I do take occasional breaks and sleep every so often.
I assume all the bellhops know each other? Any gossip about Norville?
Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome, too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station.
Gotcha. You know anything about the murder?
Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plot structures. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in. That marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off.
Have marauders been a problem at the hotel before?
Well, not necessarily, but they're fairly prevalent on the other complexes. It wouldn't take much for them to find their way here. Slug claims they've got the problem under control, but I don't understand why they haven't simply gone and exterminated all of the marauders like the vermin they are. Oh, well, I'm just here to push buttons.
Thank you. Goodbye. That's pretty neat that you got that job in there. I kind of like the personalized elevator service thing. That's, finally, stairs. Okay. Now we can get up here and do our thing. I'll pick that lock later. Okay, medical center. Autopsy, Ruth Bellamy. Cool. These are replacement models for discrepancy amplifier fitted with backup of its logic module. Label reads, in case of careless inspector. Ha. Hello, Helen.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report.
Let's hear it.
Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and the cerebellum. If it's any consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure.
Someone was obviously trying to poison her. Or, you sure it wasn't just the hotel food?
The thought occurred to me. I tested this hypothesis by vacating the contents of my stomach and testing for the presence of the same toxin. Slightly elevated levels of mercury and an alarming amount of blue food coloring. But other than that, no. I'm certain it wasn't, as you put it, just the hotel food.
When we were talking, you called her Ruth Bellamy, not Halcyon Helen.
Oh, how curious. I do believe you're right. I wonder if this has something to do with the autopsy process. She was Halcyon Helen up until the moment I brought her to the operating table. But as soon as I cut her open, I stopped thinking of her as Halcyon Helen. It's almost as if she stopped being an icon and became a human being.
I guess that makes sense.
I had a feeling you'd understand.
Alright, I will talk later. Alright. Any discrepancies we want to look at around here? No? Okay, cool. Anything up over here? Alright. Purple berry. Yes, please. More purple berry. The good stuff. Golly, what's all the way over here? Oh, an open room. Ah. Concierge Spencer Woolrich. I would love to speak to Spencer, but he's beyond the elevator. Okay. Nope, just a worn rug. Don't mind us, we're just running through these heavily armed people with lots of guns and stuff.
Easy.
What the? I was going to wash my hands, I swear. I was nearly attacked by a terror ray on my way here.
Good to know. Thank you. Alright, let's go speak to the concierge.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How
too.
may I be of assistance to you, Inspector?
I need access to the VIP guest floor.
I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it.
Let's see. Persuade. The only guest who'd have a problem with me being up there would be the murderer.
That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
Thank you. You have yourself a wonderful day. And now we can get to talk to the elevator lady again. Hey, you know what, Norville? We haven't talked in a hot minute. Let's try.
Finally checked in, I see. I hope you're fond of the penthouse. It's pretty much the best seat in the whole hotel. You shouldn't want for any amenity you might find elsewhere. Should act as a better headquarters for the investigation than any space dust covered ship. That and you ain't got room service on a ship. You ever need anything, come find me. Even if you don't, you can still swing by. I'm always happy to chat.
Alright, did you know the victim?
Oh, of course. That is, maybe not on a personal level, but I'm one of her biggest fans. Even started an association of like-minded individuals. I'd lament not having anything to meet about anymore, but the newer tribe just ain't done it for us. Still, there goes my hopes of a Terra on Monarch reunion episode.
There are there are other celebrities, right?
Sorry, friend, but I guess you don't get it. Helen was special, had a certain quality about her, like she would really go out and fight injustice. You look at Woolrich, and no disrespect to the man, but you just don't get the same feeling. He reminds me more of a vacuum suit without nobody in it. Don't tell him I said that.
I
Now,
won't.
what can I lend a hand with?
From what I heard, your affection for Helen was somewhat extreme.
I suppose you could call it that, but that don't mean I poked around her room or nothing while she was out. That'd be a huge breach of hotel policy. Besides, knowing Helen's athletic acumen, anyone who tried probably would have been found, beaten senseless, then hurled into the hallway, followed by the contents of a garbage bin. Probably, that is, it'd probably happen, but it didn't. I'm just theorizing.
All right. How'd you get to be a bellhop?
Notice my battle-hardened physique, have you? Used to be in a mighty mean line of work. Been shot at 35 times. That is, I've been near people who were shot at 35 times. But to be honest, I never really enjoyed it, you know? It's one thing to tightrope walk between life and death every day, but for just a handful of bits? Nah. When this position came up, I jumped on it and made a lateral move from sublight to slug. I ain't ever looked back.
I thought the two didn't engage much. How'd you move from one to the other?
Well, slug is something like an offshoot of sublight. It ain't too difficult to pivot from one part of the same company to another. Disconnects or no. That said, my departure may have been somewhat hasty.
Did something bad happen to make tracks? I know the feeling.
I mean, yes, but I still earned sublight a hell of a lot of bits. Basically, I singled out a ship to salvage that I thought had been out for use for years. As it turns out, it belonged to a wealthy Byzantine who used it only to vacation. As it so happened, I still don't think she tried to use it, too satisfied with the luxuries of Byzantium. Still, I figured it was a good time to turn tail, in case that ever changed.
All right. Back to my other questions. Goodbye.
Hello there, my inordinately... Oh, you're the one who visited me. Hello again. Thanks so much for brightening my day. What authorized floor can I bring you to?
VIP, please.
If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
All right. Any discrepancies around? Any obvious ones? No? Excellent. Slug guard. Cool, cool. All right. Well, I could start breaking into the VIP rooms. This one is simply open.
Hostility detected. Please lower your hostility.
Poor Burbage. Ah, the Oxonian. Shiny servos.
Initiating banter protocol. Now simulating familiar and welcoming demeanor. Burbage 3001 is trained to recognize all board-approved actors. Greetings, fellow star. Your performance in Maverick Johnston's latest drama was memorable.
Thanks. I see you've had some work done. Who upgraded you?
Burbage 3001's programming is frequently upgraded to adhere to board-certified standards. The most recent upgrade was performed by Spencer Woolrich. Banter protocol exhausted, reverting to default behavior, grieving and despair. Oh, Halcyon Helen, may your atoms be commended to the Aether.
You knew Halcyon?
Burbage 3001 was designed to disrupt Halcyon Helen's monopoly over the Aetherwave serial market. This unit's programming is based on Helen's most famous roles. Burbage 3001. Anything Halcyon Helen can do, this unit can do slightly worse.
Huh. It almost sounds like you've got a motive for murdering Helen.
Now running shock and dismay protocol. What's this? Helen's death was a murder? How horrifying. Bring that killer to justice, designated authority figure. This unit has not yet completed its grief cycles. Randomizing despair tables. Oh, Helen, is there no justice in the world?
That's enough of that. But I will take these bits of junk and good stuff. Oh, a lot of Oxonians. Apparently that's your, default costume. Neat. Oh. Spencer Woolrich. Black Hole Birdie.
About time you arrived. I see you haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsing. Ready? You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. You cannot hope to stop me from installing philosophism as the system's reigning ideology.
Wow, how did you know I was a captain?
Why didn't you, fool? It was in the script. Wait. Now that I think about it, you do smell rather like the Aether, old blood and unwashed feet. Oh, no, this is curious indeed. Who are you, and how did you get in here?
I'm here to investigate the murder of Halcyon Helen. I'd like to ask a few questions.
You're here to investigate me? Oh, I assure you, I'm nothing special. Just an old crook with more money than time. That was a quote from The Retiree's Revenge, in which I played an ex-thief turned decrepit old man. But, of course, I'm certain you already recognized it. Now, what shall I sign first? Your weapon? Your wallet? Or perhaps something a little more personal? Undergarment signatures have been popular of late, or so I've heard.
I'm not here for an autograph. I'm here to ask you some questions.
Do you mean to say you're not a fan? Well, then how did you get in here? The only staffer cleared for guest room entry is the inspector for Bellamy's murder. Oh. Oh! Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in the Marauder's Bane. The absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer.
All right. I've learned a thing or two about your activities in the hotel.
Oh, have you now? Please do go on. Don't leave me in suspense.
I spoke to Burbage. He told me you upgraded him.
I did indeed. with Halcyon Helen parading her fame about, I was left without an acting partner. Burbage is no exception. His acting protocols were nothing short of a joke. So I decided to make some modifications, installing him with some of my old serial quotes, as I think improved his range. The way he bungled about with that weapon of his hardly befitted a dissident, so I modified it as well. He's much quicker on the draw now, though he's still a machine.
We got my eye on you.
I'm quite used to being breathlessly watched.
I've got more questions for you later. But we're at the 20-minute mark, so here's where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you. If you do, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Check out the links down below, including the one to my Discord server. And I shall see you all on the next one.